If your husband asked for a divorce, what would you do? My answer would be, agree to it, before the story begins. Thank you for clicking in. This is a divorce story that all started with a burnt fried egg. Promise me this, read until the end. I've prepared a gift for you. On our wedding anniversary, Mike told me you wanted a divorce because I burnt an egg. This was for Chloe's lunch. How could you be so careless? You know she's pregnant. Make another one. But if you're this sloppy again, maybe we really should get divorced. I looked at this man who told me he loved me a month ago, now threatening me with divorce over another woman. Fine, I said calmly. Let's get divorced. Even I was surprised by how steady my voice sounded. Mike froze, as if he didn't hear me correctly. You want a divorce because I asked you to fry an egg? Lisa, are you crazy? I'll forgive you this time. I'm not divorcing you. Just stop being so dramatic next time. Without one word of concern, he turned and left. He didn't come home the entire night. At 10 that evening, the lock finally clicked. I was sitting on the couch in the dark. Mike pushed the door open. When he saw me, he paused, but quickly frowned. Why aren't you asleep? Don't you have work tomorrow? I stood up and placed my phone on the coffee table. Mike, I'm not joking. Divorce. We'll file it tomorrow. He laughed like I'd told him a ridiculous joke. Lisa, how long are you going to keep this up? Over an egg? Stop pretending. You can't live without me. Yes, I said softly. I couldn't before. Not anymore. His expression shifted, panic flickered there for the first time, but he forced it down. Chloe is pregnant. Her emotions are unstable. You pulling this stunt, what do you want her to do? I looked straight at him. Her pregnancy is your problem, not mine. Mike frowned. Why are you being so heartless? I laughed. Heartless? Mike, she's pregnant with your child. Yet you came home yelling about a burnt egg and threatening me with divorce. I'm just giving you what you want. He opened his mouth to lash out, but nothing came out. Lisa, did you take the wrong medication today? I'm thinking clearly. I picked up the envelope I had prepared earlier, our marriage certificate and my ID. Tomorrow at 10, I'll be waiting for you at the Civil Affairs office. He stared at the envelope for 2 seconds, then gave a cold laugh. You think you'll live well without me? We'll see. I walked past him toward the bedroom and closed the door in his face. For a moment, I heard my own heartbeat, loud and heavy, like a hammer. It was the first real decision I had made for myself in 7 years. The next morning, Mike got up unusually early. I was preparing a simple breakfast when he appeared at the kitchen doorway. Lisa, we need to talk. I didn't look up. 10 o'clock at the Civil Affairs office. There's nothing to talk about now. You were emotional yesterday. His tone was stern, but there was a flicker of unease beneath it. You just want me to coax you, right? No need, I answered calmly. Mike frowned, my composure clearly unsettling him. Stop it, Lisa. Divorce isn't a small thing. You're not like this. You're not who you used to be either. He choked on that, unable to respond for a long moment. I thought about it last night. He finally said, there's no rush for divorce. We can cool off for a while. I am very cool, I replied. 10 o'clock. Civil Affairs office. His patience snapped. Lisa, are you trying to piss me off? You think you'll find someone better than me after leaving? What do you even have? What can you do? At least Chloe, I turned, staring directly at him. At least what? At least she's pregnant? Or at least she's more obedient? Mike's eyes flickered, and irritation replaced panic. You're twisting my words. I'm not. I'm telling you I won't let you talk to me like that anymore. He stared at me as though he was finally realizing I might actually leave him. He stepped closer, reaching out to grab my hand, but I moved away before he touched me. Mike, I said, you used to decide everything. Not anymore. His hand hung there in the air. His face darkened, inch by inch. Lisa, I'm telling you, if you step into that office today, we're done. For real. I nodded. That's exactly what I want to hear. Then I picked up my bag and walked past him. Mike froze. For the first time, real panic filled his face. I had barely walked out of the building when a sharp voice called behind me, Lisa. I turned. Chloe stood at the bottom of the stairwell, wearing a loose cotton dress, clutching her purse, her face arranged into practiced sorrow. She had deliberately come to find me. You're leaving? She asked, scanning me from head to toe. Mike said you're getting a divorce. Yes, I replied. She gave a small, delicate smile. Don't be upset. He was only worried about me yesterday. I'm pregnant, my emotions are unstable. You should understand. Why? I asked coldly. Why should I understand? Chloe faltered, but quickly smoothed her expression. You're his legal wife. You should be more generous. Oh. I nodded. And you? What identity are you using to demand my generosity? Her smile collapsed. I'm the one carrying his child. That's between the two of you, I said. Not caused by me. Chloe stared at me, stunned that I wasn't reacting according to her script. Lisa, you weren't like this before. You used to be polite to me. Before. I didn't see reality. Reality? Her brows knitted tightly. Reality is Mike chose me. You leaving is better for everyone. I laughed. If he chose you, why did you come talk to me? Chloe froze. She hadn't expected me to strike right at the point. She wasn't here to persuade me. She was here to confirm whether she had truly won. I stepped closer, looking straight into her eyes. You need me to divorce him more than I do, right? Her lips trembled. You should be dignified about this. I am, I said. It's Mike who isn't. She fell silent, unable to respond. I walked past her. Behind me, she suddenly shouted, Lisa, you think you'll find a better man after divorcing him? I turned back, my voice clear and calm as glass. I don't need a better man. I just need to leave a worse one. Chloe's face drained of color. I unlocked my car. Move. I'm going to the civil affairs office. She stood frozen, unable to speak. I started the engine and drove away. In the rearview mirror, she remained standing there, finally realizing I was no longer the wife she could trample on. At the entrance of the civil affairs office, it was 9:50 a.m. The sunlight was harsh, people coming and going. I stood at the door and watched the time. 9:55, 9:58, 10 o'clock. Still no sign of Mike. I wasn't surprised. I simply took a quiet breath and walked inside. The hall was a little chilly from the air conditioning. I found a seat by the window. A couple beside me was arguing in hushed voices. In front of me, a newlywed pair was laughing while taking photos. All these mixed sounds somehow made the room feel unusually peaceful. I checked my phone. No messages from Mike. No apology. No explanation. Nothing. Yet when Chloe needed him earlier, he returned her call instantly. A gentle reminder of a simple truth: he wasn't unable to come. He just didn't want to. I placed the phone face down on my leg, tapping it lightly with my fingers. A staff member walking by glanced at me. You waiting for someone to file for divorce with you? She asked politely, without judgment. Yes. I nodded. He didn't show? No. She sighed softly. Happens a lot. Wait if you want. If it doesn't work out today, just come back anytime. Her phrase come back anytime felt strangely light. Divorce wasn't hard. What was hard was admitting that Mike and I had already stopped being a real couple years ago. 10:15, 10:20, and then suddenly, I laughed. Not bitterly, but freely, like I was finally breathing normally. I stood up and slung my bag over my shoulder. Thank you, I told the staff member. I won't wait. She nodded. Good. It's important that you've thought it through. Yes, I had. Walking out of the civil affairs office, the sunlight was still bright and sharp, but this time, I didn't avoid it. I actually felt as though I'd stepped out of a long, dark corridor. A corridor I once thought was home. Standing by the road, a clear thought came into my mind: Mike not showing up was the greatest freedom he ever gave me. I unlocked my phone and deleted all his voice messages, texts, and photos. Then I sent him one final message: don't bother coming. I've made up my mind. I didn't wait for a reply. I turned off my phone and walked away. This time, without looking back. Chloe didn't find out Mike hadn't gone to the civil affairs office until noon. She had just finished a prenatal checkup. Already on edge. The doctor told her she was under too much stress and needed to calm down. But once she saw the location record on her phone, Mike hadn't left home at all that morning. She completely lost control. She slammed her phone onto the car seat and immediately called him. The phone rang for a long time before he finally picked up. Hello? Mike's voice was groggy, like he'd just woken up. Chloe's hands were trembling with rage. You didn't go to the civil affairs office? Mike paused for 2 seconds. How do you know that? You're asking me? You slept until now? You skipped it on purpose, didn't you? Her voice rose sharply, almost hysterical. You said you'd handle it. You said you'd make Lisa divorce you. Mike sounded impatient. Chloe, you're pregnant. Don't scream like that. How can I not scream? she cried. You said you would fix everything, and now you're lying in bed? Are you afraid she'll be upset? Or are you unwilling to let her go? Mike exhaled harshly. I just thought today wasn't a good day. You're scared to face her. Chloe's voice cracked. Do you still have feelings for her? Are you afraid she'll actually leave you? That's enough, Mike finally shouted. Why are you turning this into such a scene? You should be happy she wants a divorce. Then why didn't you go? Chloe sobbed. Who do you want? Mike? Tell me. Mike rubbed his forehead. Exhausted. Of course I choose you, but I need time. Chloe went quiet for a moment, then said coldly, That's not what you said last night. I was overly emotional. Mike sounded defensive. She surprised me this morning. I wasn't prepared. Chloe let out a bitter laugh. So what you want is for her to stay your wife, and for me to be your pregnant mistress, right? I never said that. Mike snapped. Stop putting everything on me. But that's the truth. Chloe cried harder. You never planned to cut ties with her. Mike fell silent. He had no argument. Chloe's voice turned icy. Mike, if you don't come explain yourself to me today, don't expect me to stay calm ever again. Mike snatched up his jacket, annoyed. Fine. Where are you? I'm downstairs at your building. Her voice dripped with frost. Come down. We're talking today. Mike's face drained of color. When Mike came downstairs, his face was dark. Chloe stood under the shade of a tree. Her eyes were red from crying, but the moment she saw him, she immediately placed a hand on her stomach, deliberately looking fragile. You finally came down, she said with a trembling voice. Mike rubbed his temples. Chloe, I'm not abandoning you. It's just, today happened so suddenly. I wasn't ready. Chloe stared at him, not yelling now, not pressing him, just breathing slowly as though she were trying to hold herself together. Your tone was really harsh on the phone, she whispered. Mike frowned. I wasn't angry at you. Then who are you angry at? Her voice cracked slightly. At Lisa? That hit a sensitive spot. Mike's expression tightened. I just want her to stop acting out. But you didn't go to meet her, Chloe said softly. You let her go alone. What if she was hurt? Mike opened his mouth but couldn't answer. Chloe lifted her watery eyes to him. Mike, I just want you to look at me. I'm pregnant. I need you. I can't do this alone. She swayed a little, as though losing her balance. Mike instinctively reached out to steady her. What's wrong now? The doctor said I shouldn't get upset. Chloe grabbed his wrist. I just really can't take this anymore. Mike's defenses softened instantly. Okay. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Chloe leaned her head against his chest. I don't want to lose you. Mike let out a long sigh, like he'd finally made some sort of decision. He wrapped his arms around her. You won't. I'm with you. Chloe's voice dropped to a whisper as she looked up. Then promise me something. What? From today on, don't go to Lisa. Don't worry about her anymore. Mike hesitated for 2 seconds, then nodded. Okay. Only then did Chloe smile faintly. Let's go home, she murmured. Mike didn't answer. He simply held her and walked toward the car. After leaving the civil affairs office, I didn't go home. Instead, I drove straight to a downtown office building. Inside was a law firm I had researched online for weeks, one with an excellent reputation. I thought I might hesitate, or be scared, but today, I wasn't scared at all. The receptionist greeted me. How can we help you? I took a breath. I want to consult about filing for divorce. She nodded and immediately arranged for an attorney. 10 minutes later, I was sitting in a meeting room. The lawyer was a woman in her 40s, short hair, sharp suit, professional but warm. You can tell me your situation, she said gently. I didn't go into dramatic details. I simply stated the facts. He ignores me for days, doesn't come home, lives with another woman, humiliates me verbally. I went to the civil affairs office alone today, and he didn't show up. I don't want to drag this out anymore. She listened carefully and nodded. You've made up your mind? Yes. Then we can begin immediately. She slid a stack of documents toward me. Once we file a lawsuit, you no longer need to wait for him. We'll submit directly to the court. Looking at the papers, I felt something shift inside me, a feeling like I was finally stepping out of the ruins. The lawyer asked, What are your expectations regarding financial division? I don't want the house, I said calmly. He can take it if he wants. I only want my own savings and what I'm legally entitled to. So you prefer a clean break? Yes, I said. I just want this over with quickly. The lawyer closed the folder. We'll handle your case efficiently. When I signed the documents, my hand trembled just slightly, not from fear, but from the feeling that something truly heavy had finally ended. The lawyer reminded me, once the court delivers the papers to him, be prepared. He may react emotionally. I nodded. That won't affect my decision. She gave me a small smile. You're stronger than most people I see. I stood, placing the contract into my bag. Thank you, I said. I'm done waiting for him. When I stepped out of the law firm, the air felt clearer. Walking down the sidewalk with sunlight on my shoulders, I realized I wasn't the abandoned wife. I wasn't the loser in a love triangle. I was someone who chose her own future and stood back up. 2 days after the lawyer finished the initial paperwork, I received an unexpected call. Lisa, it's me, Margaret. It was Mike's mother. I hesitated for a moment before answering. Auntie? Her voice sounded tired. Are you free to meet? Your uncle and we want to talk to you. I was silent for a few seconds, then replied politely, okay. We met at a small cafe near my home. When I arrived, the two elders were already seated. Mike's father looked tense, his brows knit together. Margaret's eyes reddened the moment she saw me. You've lost weight, she said, taking my hand tightly as though I might disappear. I didn't comment, only sat quietly. Mike's father got straight to the point. Mike received the divorce papers. He lost his temper last night. We heard everything. I simply nodded. Margaret let out a long sigh. He said you were being impulsive, that you were provoked. But we both know he's the one at fault. Her husband added coldly, his temper has gotten worse these past years. He hasn't treated you right, we've seen it clearly. Margaret's voice trembled. When he told us you were filing for divorce, we didn't think you were wrong. Not at all. Something in my chest shifted. I had never expected them to take my side. Margaret continued. We're not here to talk you out of the divorce. If you want to leave, we understand. Her husband nodded firmly. We just want to know if you need anything. Don't carry this alone. I exhaled slowly. Thank you. I'm fine. I just want this to end. Margaret squeezed my hand. Lisa, you've always been the daughter-in-law we respected. We know you're not irresponsible or unreasonable. Mike's father added sharply, and about that woman outside. We don't like her either. Margaret grew emotional. So what if she's pregnant? What status does she have? She shouldn't even dare raise her voice at you. We saw what happened in the hospital that day. You didn't even say a word back. We were furious. Her words hit me like a soft blow. You were too wronged. It was a sentence I'd waited years to hear without knowing it. I swallowed and said quietly, I'm not trying to embarrass Mike. I'm not fighting for anything. I just want a normal life. Margaret wiped her eyes. You deserve better. Her husband said solemnly. If Mike causes trouble, we'll handle it. You don't have to be afraid. I nodded. Thank you. I understand. In that moment, I realized something. Not all parents side blindly with their son. Some judge by character, and everything I had endured for years, they had seen it too. Margaret gave my hand one last squeeze. Whether you divorce or not, you're always welcome at our home. I smiled genuinely. Thank you. This time, the smile wasn't bitter, nor forced. It felt like I was finally being seen. The next morning, I received a message from my lawyer. We're ready to officially file the divorce petition, she said over the phone. With the evidence you've provided, custody and financial division won't be difficult. I took a long breath, as though finally pushing a heavy stone off my chest. File it, I said. The sooner, the better. The lawyer paused for 2 seconds, confirming my determination. Okay. From today on, we enter the formal litigation process. After hanging up, I stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, watching traffic flow through the city. In that moment, I realized the battle ahead wasn't about Mike or Chloe. It was about the version of myself I had neglected, drained, and sacrificed for years. No more shrinking. No more enduring. No more losing myself. Just as I picked up my purse to leave for work, a message from Mike appeared on my phone. Can we talk? About the divorce. I stared at the words. Before, I might have softened. I might have responded. I might have given him 10 extra chances. But not anymore. I typed 3 words, no need to. Then I muted his contact. Part 9, English translation. 3 days after the divorce papers were submitted, my lawyer notified me the court has formally delivered the documents to him. I thanked her. But what I didn't expect was that Mike showed up faster than the court. That afternoon, he appeared at the entrance of my office building. His shirt was wrinkled, his eyes bloodshot, his face gaunt, a complete contrast to the polished, confident man he used to be. He looked like someone who had been hollowed out. When he saw me, he stepped forward quickly. "You really filed it?" "Yes," I said. "Your legal team should have received the notice." His Adam's apple bobbed. He hadn't expected me to be this calm. "You won't even give me a chance to talk?" "Mike," I said quietly, "we haven't been able to talk for a long time." He clenched his jaw, struggling between anger and desperation. "Why does it have to become like this? Is divorce that important to you?" "It's not divorce that matters," I said. "It's dignity." My answer hit him like a blow. He looked away, breathing unsteadily. "Chloe cried all day," he said. "She thinks she ruined everything." "That," I said, "is between you two." Mike swallowed hard. For the first time, he seemed to understand that for years, he had relied on my patience as if it were his right. He asked quietly, "So, you really don't want to come back?" I looked him straight in the eyes, firm, clear, without hesitation. "Mike, our marriage died a long time ago. You're only feeling it now." His breath hitched, like his chest sank inward. He lifted a hand, wanting to touch my shoulder, but froze before making contact. "I never thought we'd end up like this," he whispered. I replied evenly, "Every step here was a choice you made." He fell silent, and at that moment, he finally understood. The one who truly lost something wasn't me. It was him. That day after work, as I walked into the parking lot, Chloe was waiting beside my car. She wore a pale pink maternity dress, her complexion ghostly white, but her eyes were sharp, almost aggressive. "Lisa," she said as I approached, "you really submitted the divorce petition?" "Yes," I replied calmly. She pressed her lips together, trying hard to appear composed, though the tremble in her voice betrayed her. "Why would you do this? Do you know how much pressure Mike is under right now?" I raised an eyebrow. "His pressure isn't my responsibility." She inhaled sharply, then spoke faster, her voice shaking. "If you divorce him now, everyone will call him a monster, a jerk. You're destroying his reputation." I let out a short laugh. "He earned that reputation. Why should I carry it for him?" Chloe flinched, like my words had slapped her. She swallowed hard and finally asked, "Lisa, do you still like him? Is that why you're doing this? You're trying to make him crawl back to you, aren't you?" I looked at her, unimpressed. "Do you think he will come back?" She froze. Her fear flashed across her face, raw, real. She was terrified. For the first time, truly terrified. I walked to my car. Just as I reached for the door, she grabbed my arm. "You can't divorce him," she cried. "If you do, he will definitely come back to you." I stopped. "Ah, so that was what she was afraid of." "Chloe," I said, "whether he comes back or not, that's between you two. Not something I control." Tears filled her eyes. "He told me he wasn't abandoning you. He just needed time. He needed me with him. If you divorce him now, you'll destroy him." I looked at her steadily. "When he got you pregnant," I said softly, "did he stop to wonder if he was destroying me?" Chloe's face turned chalk white. She stumbled back a step, clutching her stomach as her breath stuttered. I didn't look away. I didn't feel guilty. I opened my car door. Just before I closed it, Chloe broke down completely. "Lisa, why won't you just let us go?" I turned my head, my tone clean and quiet. "I am letting go. I'm finally letting go of myself." Then I shut the door, muting her sobs. A few nights later, I was about to sleep when my phone began ringing nonstop. It was Mike, call after call. I didn't answer. Then he sent a message, "Chloe's in the hospital. It's bad. Please pick up." I frowned and finally took the call. On the other end, Mike's voice was frantic, more panicked than I had ever heard. "Lisa, can you come to the hospital? Please, she keeps calling your name." My grip tightened. "Calling me? She's afraid you'll sue her. Afraid you'll expose the pregnancy. She's emotionally unstable. The doctor says her mood might affect the baby." His breathing was ragged. "Please, can you come?" I asked quietly. "What exactly needs me to be there? What can't you handle yourself?" Mike went silent for a beat. Then, she said, "The baby might not be mine." My hand froze around the phone. Mike sounded like he was close to breaking. "She'll only tell the truth if you're here. Lisa, please, come." I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no either. "I'll think about it." 10 minutes later, I was driving to the hospital. Not because of Chloe, not because of Mike, because I wanted clarity. The hospital corridor was cold and bright. Chloe was being wheeled out of the exam room, face pale, fingers clenching the blanket. When she saw me, she looked like she'd found a lifeline. Lisa, you came. Mike stood stiffly to the side, eyes haunted. I leaned against the wall. Say it. Whose child is it? Chloe burst into tears instantly, quiet, desperate tears. I thought it was Mike's. I really did. But the ultrasound today, the fetal age doesn't match. Mike stepped forward, face contorting. You're joking, right? Chloe sobbed harder. I don't know. I really don't. That night I drank too much. You were ignoring me. I don't remember anything. Mike's voice cracked. So the child might not even be mine? Chloe choked on her breath. Mike, please, don't leave me. I didn't mean for this to happen. You tried to trap me with a child that isn't even mine? Mike roared. Are you insane? Chloe covered her ears and shook her head. I just wanted you to stay. You said you loved me. You said you'd take care of me, then go find the real father. Mike shouted. Silence hit the hallway like a stone. Chloe stared at him, stunned. I don't know who he is. Mike's rage drained into shock. I watched the two of them unravel, quietly, without emotion. Finally Mike asked. Defeated, what now? Chloe reached for him, crying. You can't leave me. I can't be alone. Mike pried her hands off him slowly, painfully. That's not my problem anymore. For the first time, he looked at Chloe with the same coldness he once used on me. Chloe collapsed into another wave of sobs. I said softly, Mike, my divorce petition is moving forward. He looked at me, pale, ashamed, exhausted. He didn't argue. Chloe screamed through her tears. You're both hurting me. You're both ruining my life. I looked at her. No, your choices ruined your life. Mike and I are just walking away from the mess you made. The only sound left was her crying. In the week following Chloe's incident, my life became strangely peaceful. No arguments. No accusations. No one yelling at me over a burnt egg. One afternoon at the office, sunlight spilled across my desk, and for the first time in years, I felt calm. Until one evening, right after work, I walked out of the building, and Mike stepped out from behind a pillar, as if he had been waiting there for a long time. He looked terrible, sunken eyes, unshaven, wearing a wrinkled jacket, nothing like the polished, self-important Mike I used to know. He called my name softly. Lisa. I stopped walking. He approached slowly, as though afraid I might run away. Can we talk? His voice was hoarse, like sleep and stress had scraped it raw. I looked at him. Go ahead. He inhaled shakily, struggling to get the words out. I really don't know who to talk to anymore. I didn't say anything. Chloe's a mess. He continued. She's unstable. Her family is blaming me. The baby's not mine. Everything is collapsing. He let out a humorless laugh, one that sounded more like a sob. I've never faced something like this. That's the path you chose, I said simply. He flinched. A flash of shame crossed his face. After a long silence, he finally asked, Lisa, do we still have a chance? I blinked, stunned for a second. He swallowed hard and kept going. I know I messed up. I know you don't trust me now. But I never thought you'd actually leave me. His voice dropped to a pleading whisper when I threatened divorce. I didn't mean it. I didn't think you'd really go. So now you're scared? I asked quietly. He nodded, eyes reddening. I have nothing left. Chloe's breaking down. Her baby isn't mine. I just want to talk to you. Maybe go home. Maybe try again. Try what? I asked. He took a breath. Give us another chance. I looked at him for a long moment. Mike, I said finally. Are you sure you've thought this through? I have. He insisted. I shook my head. No. You've misunderstood something. He frowned. You think you want me, I said slowly. But what you actually want is stability. Someone who won't cause drama. Someone predictable. His eyes widened because the truth hit him dead center. You're coming to me, I continued, because I'm the only part of your life you didn't lose control of. Not because you love me. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. I opened my car door. Mike, I said softly. I'm not your safe exit when everything else is burning. He panicked. Lisa. Wait, I turned, looking directly at him. You made one mistake. I said. You think after the divorce. No one is your responsibility, but I'm still your option. His face drained of color. You're wrong. I'm not your option anymore. I got into my car and closed the door. Mike stood there, stunned, terrified, desperate. He pounded on the window. Lisa, please, don't go. We can fix this. I started the engine. The window rose slowly, cutting off his voice. In the rearview mirror, he stood motionless as I drove away. And at that moment, he finally understood he had truly, irreversibly lost me. 2 weeks later, I received a text message from the court. The first divorce mediation is scheduled for next Wednesday morning. I confirmed the time and immediately forwarded it to my lawyer. She called within minutes. How are you feeling? Has Mike been bothering you? He sent a few messages. I said. I ignored them. Good. Her tone was firm. During mediation, you must stay focused on one thing. You want a divorce. You will not allow him to manipulate your emotions. I understand. Divorce mediation day. The mediation room at the courthouse was neither big nor small. A bit cool, bright, impersonal. My lawyer and I sat on one side of the table. Mike and his lawyer sat on the other. When Mike saw me, he stiffened for a moment, as if he expected me to be nervous, flustered, or seeking his approval. Instead, my calmness made him restless. The mediator began. Both parties are here to attempt an amicable divorce agreement. First, do both of you still insist on divorcing? I answered firmly, yes. Mike hesitated, then nodded. Yes. The mediator jotted it down. Next, the financial arrangements. Any disagreements? My lawyer slid a prepared document across the table. We propose, the house will be sold and split evenly. The car goes to Lisa. Savings divided based on the income ratio during marriage. Mike frowned. The car's down payment was for me. My lawyer countered without missing a beat. Then would you like to give her the entire house? Mike stiffened. No. Then these terms are reasonable. My lawyer concluded. We've already sent this proposal to your side. Today's not the day to argue over every penny. The mediator turned to me. Do you have objections? No. Mike leaned forward, anxious. Lisa, can't we talk about this privately? You're doing this out of anger. I'm not angry. I said. I'm doing what I should have done long ago. The mediator moved on. Next. State the grounds for divorce. He said it lightly, but everyone knew this part mattered. I sat up straight. My reasons are simple: incompatible values, severe lack of respect, long-term emotional neglect, continuous psychological stress. The mediator nodded. Mike, anything to add? Mike's voice trembled. I admit I made mistakes, but I don't want her making a sudden decision she'll regret. It's not sudden, I answered softly. It's overdue. He deflated completely. After writing his notes, the mediator closed the folder. The possibility of reconciliation seems extremely low. At the next meeting, we will finalize the divorce agreement. The session ended. I gathered my things. Just as I stood, Mike called after me, Lisa. I turned. He stared at me for a long time, as if trying to find the woman he used to know. Finally, he whispered, voice cracking, are we really ending here? I answered, quietly, but firm as steel, Mike. I'm not the one who walked us here. You pushed us here. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. I walked out of the room with steady, decisive steps. The week after the divorce mediation, I realized something. The house was too quiet, and too empty. Mike hadn't come to collect his things, and my heart no longer lived there either. Standing in the middle of the living room, I suddenly understood I had to move out. The next day at lunch, I was eating in the company cafeteria with my colleague, Amy. Amy looked at my calm expression and asked, "You're really moving out?" I mean, that apartment is actually pretty nice. It is, I admitted, taking a bite of my sandwich. But the memories aren't fair. Amy nodded. So where do you want to move? Somewhere far from here. Somewhere clean, new. Somewhere that doesn't remind me of anyone. Amy's eyes lit up. Oh, my friend manages a building downtown. Really quiet. Really safe. Perfect for a single woman. I blinked. Single woman? She grinned. Well, aren't you one now? I couldn't help laughing. Fine. I'll check it out after work. That evening, I stood on the balcony of that new apartment, overlooking the city lights flickering on one by one. The landlord said, "Most tenants here live alone. It's quiet, well secured. I'll take it," I said immediately. "You don't want to see the other units?" "No. This one is perfect. because the air here felt lighter and didn't smell like the past. Once I signed the lease, I called a moving company. They asked, "Where are we moving you from and to?" I gave both addresses, then added, "Please move everything the same day. I'm not staying in the old place another night." After hanging up, I sent my lawyer a message, "I've moved. Please forward all documents to the new address." She replied quickly, "Good choice. You're doing very well, keep going." I looked at those words, feeling a slight sting in my chest. Not sadness, just a new, strange feeling of freedom. That night, Amy came over to help unpack. She looked around my nearly empty new living room and laughed. "Wow, you're really starting a whole new life." I wrote labels for my boxes. "Why keep anything old? I don't need it anymore." Amy leaned on the doorframe. "So, does Mike know you moved?" "No," I said. "I didn't tell him. He's gonna freak out. That's his problem." Just then, my phone buzzed. I glanced down. "Mike, why aren't you home?" I knocked. No one answered. "Where are you?" Another message came seconds later. "You moved out?" A third, "Lisa, can we talk? Please answer me." Amy looked over my shoulder. "He's still struggling." "Ha." I locked my phone and tossed it onto the sofa. Let him struggle. I pulled open the curtains. Fresh night air swept into the room, clean, crisp, unfamiliar. For the first time, I felt my future might actually belong to me. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any thoughts about this story, feel free to share them in the comments section. Here is Roses and Love, sharing stories about marriage and women every day. See you tomorrow.